Hey channel, welcome back. Hope you can hear me over the shop fan. Sorry, it's a little hot in here. Today I'm going to install this RAM mount that I bought to hold my phone onto the left-hand side of my bike. Left handlebar right here. I already have a RAM mount on the right, works well for my GoPro, but I wanted something for my phone. Ask you guys what you suggest. Came back with a lot of good suggestions, and I settled on this RAM mount. We're going to take this off. It's a real quick, easy install. Won't take long today. Just thought you'd like to watch it in progress, and maybe it helps you. Maybe it's something you've been looking for. So, going to install the RAM mount and ball mount to my 2023 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT. Let's get started. Alright, let's take a look at what comes in the pack. Cut it open here. Looks like we have the mount itself, the ball mount, and then the corresponding underpiece that goes around the handlebar. Once I take the fascia off the handlebar, it fits just like that. Got some paperwork, all the different RAM mounts that you can buy. Oh, I'm disappointed I didn't get a sticker. We spend thousands of dollars on parts, and we're so excited when we get a sticker. Not really, but looks like we have some rubber insulation that goes on the inside to keep it from slipping. That's good. Various hardware bits and looks like spacers. So if you need it to fit tighter around your handlebars, depending on the size of your handlebars, looks like we got two sizes here. A 75 and a 90. We'll see which one of these we need, if any. The first things first, we need to take off that other part on the bike itself. So let's do that. Okay, to take off this plastic fascia, looks like it's just a standard Phillips head screw, and only one of them. So, alright, let's give that a try. Comes off pretty easy. I'm going to hang on to this in case I need it later. It's got a washer, don't want to lose that either. And I think this collar just snaps into place around it. Oh yeah, it's in two parts. Comes apart very easily once you take the screw out. Whoop. Okay, yeah, two parts. Very simply. Comes apart, and I think I'll go ahead and just put that screw back in there and keep this all as one piece. Okay. I just tried these on the handlebars, and it looks like this number 90 shim is going to be what I need for the size handlebar I have. Alright, going to take the backing off this 3M rubber tape, rubber grommet. I don't even call it a grommet. And apply it to the handlebar. And I may need to cut. I think I'm going to have to cut. Yeah, going to have to cut it to length. Alright, get my X-Acto blade in there and cut it to where I think it needs to go. Yeah, it's pretty close. Alright. Now, with that rubber installed, let's check again that 90 is the right size shim to use. So I'm going to get both of these shim pieces now and put them in there and see if they pretty well come together. Yep, that looks pretty tight. All right. So now let's get all our hardware over here. I've got the two mounting brackets that go together. I've got the shim. I've got screws and a hex key that came with the kit to tighten it all up. Some nuts that look like they're locking nuts. Yep, I bet they're locking nuts. So we're gonna get all this started. Let me situate these parts so they don't go rolling off into Never Never Land. All right, like that. Okay. There's an indented place in the bottom of this bracket and a little sort of plastic bump on the outside of the shims that fit inside it very neatly. So I'm going to install these shims like this, put them inside the bracket, and see if we can't work this bracket onto the handlebar with the shims in place. I'm going to move some wires here. Okay, that looks like that worked. I'm going to kind of orient the holes where I think I'm going to need them. I'm going to take the top part, and it should fit right down. Hopefully, there's a little plastic or metal piece in here that it's got to fit beside. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You guys see that little metal bump? It's got to go next to that, so we're going to try to get that next to that, because it's not going to move. So let me move that over a little and see if we can't get this in here. Wow, that's tight. I'm going to loosen the control panel here so that maybe it moves a little bit. I don't think it's going to move very much because I think it's sort of grooved in there as well. All right, when I loosened, you can see that's got a big crack in it right here. When I loosened this control panel a little bit with the screws, Phillips head screws, when I loosened it a little bit, there was just enough wiggle room to get this thing to slide in there, and once it's underneath, I think you can see that. Once it's underneath, there's more room, but getting it down there was the problem. So now I think I can tighten everything back up. Let's try that. Got this where I need it. Yeah, right about there. I think first of all, I'm going to tighten up this control box. Like I said, I didn't take the screws all the way out. I just loosened them. There's one on top and one on bottom. And just hand tighten. I'm sure there's some factory torque that I'm screwing up, but just enough to feel comfortable. All right. Now I'm going to take one of these screws. I'm going to take this Allen wrench that came with it and one of these lock nuts, and I'm just going to tighten it down. Goes in there like that. Let's get the Allen wrench on it. Let me put the lock nut, in the right orientation down here. And it should be just a matter of turning, because I hope that's moving up into a groove. That nut is moving up into a groove that is sort of nut shaped and holding it in place. And I think it is. It felt like it is. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm going to drop the screw in there. I'm going to put my Allen wrench on it. I'm going to put the nut underneath in the hole where I think it needs to go. Check orientation. Yeah. I want to get it as far towards the center of the bike as I can. Yeah, that's starting to tighten down nicely. All right, let's give it a couple of homemade torque turns. Yeah, that feels right. And then again on this side. Well, that one was a little looser. All right, that's pretty solid. Let's make sure everything works. Turn the bike on. Windshield works. That's good. Love these horns. Oh my gosh, I love these horns. Turn signal works. Other turn signal works. Okay, we're good. Bright lights work. I don't think we damaged anything. That's awesome. So, here's a little lesson. Seems like it's in okay, but I have the other half to the shim here. Okay, went back and corrected my mistake. Put both shims in. Got everything back in place. Now I'm going to tighten it down a little bit on each side so it's sort of evenly tightened. A final one on this side and a final one on the other side, and I think we're done. Okay. Yeah, with that other shim in there, that is much tighter, so good idea to go back in and correct my mistake. So there we have it, guys. Ram mount for the left-hand handlebar, and I have a ram attachment and one of those vibrate dampening, well, I'll show you. Here's what's going to go on it. Got this from Ram. It's a vibration dampener. And then this weatherproof wireless charging kit. So it'll charge my phone while it's on the dock. Not so sure I'm going to use the charging function because my phone, unless I can figure this out, my phone needs to be plugged into the bike in order for Apple CarPlay to work. So I gotta solve that whole problem. But those are the two things, and I have a small ram extension that's going to go on that ball. Going to go on this ball, and it'll stick up, 2 inches, and then that accessory will fit right there, and I'll be well on my way. Anyway, and I'll show you guys in another video when I have that all in place and it's up and working, what I figured out. In the meantime, thank you guys. I appreciate you joining me for this quick install. Hope you're having a great weekend. Until we speak again, my friends, ride safe and God bless.